Hi, everybody. It's Yvonne with Freight Broker Chic. Welcome back to another segment. Welcome. We just thank you guys again for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. No housekeeping. We always say that. And share the video. We really are trying to give you information to really help you along this way for those of you who are in the industry who've had questions and hit me up. And so one of the things I was sharing with Dexter is people, of course, one of the main questions is, especially if you want to do the training, is like, well, when will I make money? How soon will I make money? How actually do you make money? What does a freight broker or freight agent actually do? So Dexter's here today to talk to us a little bit about that. So go ahead, Dexter.
Oh, thank you very much.
And let me get my little applause. Yay! I almost forgot about that. Y'all know I love doing that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So, with brokering, of course, money is one aspect of it. But to make the money, you have to first get the customer. The customer is key to everything.
Okay. And so how do we get, because I get that a lot. Like, how do you get customers? You got to have a customer to make money.
Well, you have to research different manufacturing customers in the United States. I mean, there's over 75 million shipping customers in America right now.
Okay.
So that's a lot of business.
That's a lot of business.
That's a lot of making sales phone calls. It's a lot of looking for traffic managers on LinkedIn. It's a lot of Googling different manufacturing types of products and things of that nature.
Okay. So really, like I talk to a lot of people, and people don't realize it's a sales job.
Right, it's a sales job.
Right.
If
so
you don't like not making sales phone calls, it's not the job for you. You have to make a lot of sales calls. You have to reach out to a lot. There's no traffic manager sitting out there saying, "Oh my God, I was just waiting for you to call me so you can move my freight."
They're not.
There are a lot of people trying to do the same thing, get to the traffic manager. So you have to do something that makes you special, that stands out, that you and the traffic manager will connect.
Gotcha.
Once you and that traffic manager connect, and that person feels like you're their friend. Or that
so you call one time, 2 times, 3 times?
Well, you might have to call several times. It might be 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You never know how long it's going to take for you to actually close the deal. But the idea is that you're going to get in there, close the deal with the actual customer, get the freight, go on and come and basically decide on a charge for the freight that is both doable for both you and your customer. Then you go to your carrier base and hopefully get the load covered for less than what your customer is paying you, and in that difference, that is when you're going to be making your profit. So the difference between what you pay the carrier and what your customer pays you is your profit. So basically,
so you're saying a lot. So what you're saying is they get the customer first. That's number one, because without a customer, you don't even have any hopes of making any money. And so once you get a customer and you guys kind of agree that they like you and they're going to trust you to handle moving some of their product, you now have to, as the broker agent, you now have to, as you say, you have to find a carrier. You have to find, because unless you drive a truck, or a flatbed or a dry van, somebody now has to move that product. And so talk about that a little bit. Like, so that's what the next step is. Once they get that, they now have to find someone to move the product.
Right, exactly. So you'll go to your different load boards, post your loadout, actually talk to dispatchers, do the haggling game with the dispatcher, and make sure that you come out with profit.
Gotcha.
So the idea, sometimes carriers or dispatchers are asked for inflated rates. But over time, you'll learn how to actually mitigate that. You actually learn how to actually take care of that.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. So basically, you're gaining your customer. And of course, we cover a lot of this in our training, how to talk to that potential customer, how to gain that customer, and then now that you have that customer, there's the next part of the training is, well, how do I move the load? And that in itself is a process, and all of this is going to it be incorporated so that at the end of the day, you get paid for that. So once you find, as he said, you're then going to be trained on how to find a carrier. And like he said, you can go to the load boards. I've got some now where I built up a registry of carriers that I know. I've gotten to know them. I know what lanes, I know their equipment. And it's really just a matter of, do they have a truck available for me that day to move that load? And if so, bam, I don't even have to rely on a load board. But I had to start with the load board. That's where I started, because I didn't have that carrier base. So that, again, Dexter trained me on how to work that load board, and I stayed on there. And I mean, it wasn't easy, but eventually I got to know them, they got to know me, and so now I even have carriers who will call me up on any given day and say, hey, do you have anything out of ABC going to XYZ, because we built a relationship, and that's really a lot of what it is. It's building a relationship. And so now we got to the point where we got the load, we got the carrier, and then what?
Well, you got the load, you got the carrier. You make sure that the carrier picks the load up on time. You track and trace. You call the carrier and get updates about the location, and then you also update your customer. When it delivers, you definitely update your customer and give them all the information.
Okay.
Hopefully they're going to be satisfied with your service, and they're going to do repeat and use your services over again. And then you start moving into the lane on a steady basis, which opens you up to get more and more freight.
Exactly. And I guess the whole point of this is that it's a process. This is not a job where you go in and you clock in and report to work, and at the end of the week, 2 weeks, you get a paycheck. This is a business, and you're going to be building your own business, and that takes time, as I said, especially with building the relationships. You understand, you're building relationships with the potential customer, and then you're also building relationships with the carrier. And so that takes time on both ends. So we hope that was helpful for you today on kind of how brokering works and what your role is. And at the end of the day, let's talk about the money. When does the money drop?
Well, the money drops for different people at different times.
Okay.
Once again, it depends on how soon you get a customer, and then also once you get a customer, how many loads are they letting you move,
Okay.
and then, what's your volume like? So
Right.
It's a couple of things, so the more customers you get, the more freight you can move, the more money you can make. The
Okay.
less customers you have, the less freight you move, the less money you're going to make. So, I mean, if you're serious about calling, I mean, you could find a customer in your first week, find a customer in your first month. I've seen some people take half a year to find a customer. It varies for everybody. Being a broker is a lot like going to the gym. You're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Okay.
If you don't put anything into it, you're not going to get anything out of it. So the thing is that if you don't like making sales phone calls, this is not the profession for you.
Right.
But if you don't mind talking to people, you don't mind making sales phone calls, you don't mind getting out there, working the phone,
Putting yourself out
working the internet, working LinkedIn, and meeting with traffic managers and going hard for traffic managers and following up with traffic managers, then you can be very successful in this business.
Okay, great. And after your load delivers,
You go on and
you get
paid.
paid.
Right. That's when the
you
money
get
starts
paid.
coming.
Right. So you get paid after that load delivers. You get it delivered in good condition. And, there's, of course, documentation, all that has to be submitted, and you'll learn all that in our training as well. But that's when you get paid. And let me tell you, it's a great feeling. it's a great feeling to know that you as a business owner are building something for the future. And that's what we hope to bring value to you and help you with. So thanks again for tuning in. I think hopefully we covered it. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. We are doing a training. February the 16th is our next training. So we'd love to see you in there. I will put the website in the link as well. My information is always there. I'm available 24/7, so don't forget that. And again, like, share, and subscribe. Or even if you know someone, a family member that's been talking about getting into freight brokering, have them hit me up, and I'd be more than happy to share the information with them. Thank you guys again. Everyone have a great day, and we will see you next time here on Freight Broker Chic. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.